What's up, lore masters? At this point, we are nearing the ending of the Dominion War, though neither side know it. And additionally, as it approaches, neither side would realize how things are dramatically shifting under their feet. It's ironic because major events will occur very soon that blindsides both the Federation Alliance and the Dominion. For this analysis, I'll be focusing on the Dominion and specifically the Cardassians. This will lead up to the retaking of the Chintaka system, and in other videos, I'll discuss that as well as the responses. For all intents and purposes, the Dominion War had stalemated, though the Federation Alliance was slowly chipping away at Dominion installations and forces and slowly encroaching further towards Cardassia. This, of course, would be unacceptable, and thusly the Vorta and Founders would go back to their usual tricks, playing at diplomacy in the background. Things would need to change for the Dominion, and right quick. This transformation would come by way of an alliance with the Breen. Fresh troops would begin to reinforce the Dominion lines and stop the Federation advantage. The Breen would also bring a new weapon, the Energy Dissipators, a devastating device that could disable most any ship. Though here is a question. How did none of the other powers know about the Breen weapon? Arguably, the Breen would have utilized it to protect their own borders, and we know that there have been conflicts with the nation. If it's a new weapon, why didn't the Breen use it when they attacked Earth? They are assaulting the headquarters of Starfleet and the capital of the Federation with the ability to disable every ship they come upon, and they opt not to use this vast advantage. Really? And if they did use this weapon with the attack on Earth, why weren't the Federation, Klingon, and Romulan forces at Chintaka prepared for it? Starfleet wouldn't have had a counter to it yet, sure, but they at least would have been aware of this and tried to build tactics around avoiding getting hit. The only way this really makes sense is if the Breen were in development and the weapon wasn't ready till Chintaka, which is fine, just really lucky for the Federation, I suppose. Speaking of the Breen, seeing the opportunity to seize control of Cardassian territory, along with Federation, Klingon, and Romulan space, they ally themselves with the Dominion, becoming loyal subjects to the Founders. As stated, this would give an advantage with reinforcements even without the weapon that they brought to the table. The alliance was probably one of the best moves by the Dominion in the late war game. However, it would precede one of the worst decisions as well, one that is confusing. The treatment of the Cardassians after the alliance with the Breen is a blunder so obvious that it defies logic. If you're an avid watcher of Lore Runner, you'll know that it makes perfect sense for the Founders to treat the Cardassians as a resource with no care for their feelings nor their lives. Founders lacking the understanding of how solids would react to what is going on is well within reason. However, the Vorta, and especially Weyoun, aren't as naive. Weyoun has historically not been this oblivious to the impacts of the Dominion policies on the various peoples. While he isn't perfect and made mistakes, throughout the series he generally is an able diplomat and one that can identify issues when they arrive. His largest weakness is his undying devotion to what he believes to be gods, but that's a conversation for another time. How he didn't understand Cardassians' reactions to being relegated to second-class citizens is baffling. However, if I'm being kind, I guess you could argue that perhaps Weyoun lost so much respect for Damar, and after watching the unrealistic breakdown of Dukat, simply found the Cardassians to be lesser beings that he never would have imagined could be able to accomplish a successful betrayal. On that score, Damar would more and more see the diminishing of Cardassian influence. While the Cardassians weren't the Federation Alliance, they were only one step above them this late in the game. Cardassian leadership was frozen out of high military discussions, and entire Cardassian orders, at least 500,000 soldiers, would be left to die on a planet deemed not worthy of defending. This caused Damar to begin working in the background, identifying loyal Cardassian troops and preparing terrorist attacks against the Dominion. These attacks would be sprung when the Dominion was retaking Chintaka, Damar's forces striking and destroying a Dominion cloning facility in the end. This, luckily, would buy time for the Federation, as effectively only the Klingons could defend against incoming Dominion forces. I'll be going more into the new victories of the Dominion and the dire consequences the Federation Alliance found itself in later, but let me end this video reflecting on Damar's message to the Cardassians, as well as the Alpha and Beta Quadrant. In his message, he said that the Cardassians had welcomed the Dominion into their space and had become occupied without firing a shot. I wonder if Damar realized how ironic that statement was. Because it was that day that Damar admitted that the Cardassian people had done the exact same thing that the Bajoran people did when the Cardassian occupation started.